So we've got a list of characters here. I believe there's 210 slots. Some of which can claim more than one character, like Phil and Lil from Rugrats. Could be separate characters, but we'll combine them into one slot. So there's a bit of risk and reward there. If you pick Phil and Lil, for example, if you put an L here, which would represent you choosing Phil and Lil, and Phil got in the game, you would still get a point. But if Lil got also got a separate slot, you'd still only get one. So it's balanced in that way. As we know, there's a Nickelodeon fighting game coming out. And we know about SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy Cheeks from SpongeBob. Reptar. Yeah, I'm not going to read all of these.
All the ones from the trailer?
The trailer.
Oh, besides
plus
these...
a few sort of leaked characters from the box art. It was probably you could see their silhouettes. Some of them are very obvious, like Cora and Catdog and Ren and Stimpy. They're clearly silhouetted. Maybe they're boss characters, but we're just going to put them here. There's one other character that we don't know, which is like 95% probably Aang. We could see his hand in his sleeve, but it's not as obvious, so we shouldn't jump to conclusion. But besides that, we have a row of SpongeBob characters. Other would be a character that isn't on here, like, let's say, the Spongeborg. That, if that were a character, it would be another, unless it was a SpongeBob alternate costume. If the character gets into the game, you get 10 points, like in the Smash one. If they are any sort of side element, trophy if it has those, a background element, alternate costume, we'll call it 3 points. There's not going to be many more stages left to announce, and who knows if there's even any collectibles. SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents, Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom, Rugrats, all the franchises you would expect. You know, this is the first go about. We don't know the rules, so let's say the real life shows that aren't cartoons, like Drake and Josh, probably won't get Drake in this game. They're up in the air, so instead of getting individual characters, you just get the entire franchise. Obviously, Cosmo and Wanda appearing in Drake and Josh wouldn't get you Drake and Josh points if they got in. And then there's various shows that aren't necessarily made by Nick, but have appeared on like Nicktoons and other stuff like Dragon Ball and Garfield. Those would be pretty big gets. I don't know if they'd be able to get those, or maybe it would be breaking the rule of Nickelodeon. Who knows? It's our first go around. We don't know anything. The Rabbids were in a show. We don't know if they have to originate in a TV show. And then these last ones are kind of just out there, you know? There was a point where we thought Smash was just Nintendo, and then Cloud showed up. And then it's just any character that isn't covered at all by the other ones. I think we'll probably conclude this when the game comes out, and then if there's a DLC cycle, we'll come back to the same one. We won't start over unless they blow us out of the water with the original, unless half the roster is like X-Men, and then we're probably gonna have to restart and rethink our board. But yeah, we'll do one when the game comes out, and if there is DLC, this is by the Slap City devs, and Slap City got one DLC character, so we won't count our eggs before they hatch, okay?
Okay. Aang. I already kind of assumed that he would be in the game, and I didn't even know about the game box leak. I feel like that's like a really good safe pick. I feel like there's a lot of safe picks.
Yeah, well, the thing is, there's already 19 or so characters, and Slap City had 8 at launch.
Oh, wow.
So we could be nearing the end already. There could be like 2 more characters. And there's been weird cuts in other Nickelodeon games that we'll get to when we get to, but Aang is definitely a shoo-in, I think, because we already saw the Air Temple stage, which could tie into Korra, obviously.
Yeah, odd if they didn't include Aang as well. What
we've seen from the roster already is that they're trying to get more female characters in. So like we saw Sandy before we even saw Squidward or Plankton or anyone, which is kind of strange. And then Helga over Arnold. I don't know if that's actually a popular choice because I haven't watched Hey Arnold. So Korra over Aang would make sense, but that probably is the best pick because he's probably been leaked already. I have no idea who else's hand that would be. I'm gonna go with Timmy Turner. I mean, Fairly Odd Parents is practically the second big one after SpongeBob. Although we haven't seen a stage or a character yet, which is very strange. Now, they're trying to go for a wide range of generations, and Fairly Odd Parents and SpongeBob kind of check the same box. Maybe it's like a, what's he called, Butch Hartman thing, some sort of controversy around him. But Danny's already in the game, and he has a stage.
Yeah.
So it would be very strange if we got Danny and no Timmy, because even though I prefer Danny, the popularity is very, very different. Oh, so we could talk about Moveset if you want. But yeah,
I mean, Aang would definitely have, like, I'm assuming his recovery would probably be his, like, glider.
Yeah, and then he'll probably have his dash attack be like the wind ball. I mean, he can use every single...
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, it depends on if they want to really lean into the air or if they want to do the variety.
I mean, I don't even know exactly how many moves they have.
Yeah.
Because they could give him Flood as a down B, basically, and have that either be water or air, and it would fit.
Yeah, it's definitely an interesting idea. I wonder if they have other Last Airbender characters.
Well, Korra is a waterbender, and then...
Isn't Korra also an avatar, though?
Yeah, but you'd assume that Aang is mostly going to use wind and Korra's mostly going to use water because it's their origin element.
And then,
or whatever.
okay, and then not that either of us are picking them yet, but you would assume, like, if they really wanted to iron it out, they would probably do Toph and Zuko.
Yeah, because they're easily the next two most popular characters.
Yeah, I don't think Katara and Sokka really.
Sokka would be a cool, like, joke character, though, with the boomerang, and really that's mostly
not that they're bad characters, but
they're just not as popular.
It just makes sense that if they're gonna have Korra do waterbending.
I feel like their normals would be their main element, and then their specials they could probably use a variety. Water and Smash is basically air, almost always, and then ground is like just big rock projectiles also. Could also include his little staff. Same with Timmy. Like, with the amount of episodes and wishes he's made, they'll have so many...
I feel like we can't really predict it. I feel like his moveset's just like... Well... Because he doesn't do combat, really.
Well, we have the other video games to take reference from. And I don't think there's supers in this game, or at least none confirmed, but a super would probably be the remote from Channel Chasers, probably. Maybe he freezes everyone and attacks them, or speeds himself up.
He does, it cuts to him doing the Goku bit.
Yeah, the Mabu Moshi or whatever.
Yeah, that'd be funny. Or he becomes the old buff Timmy Turner in that same... Maybe smack with the wand, I guess, but like he doesn't really
use the wand.
But in the games,
maybe he can command them like Luma.
Ooh,
Cosmo and Wanda.
That's an interesting idea.
That would make him very unfun. I guess he gets the Super F, where he could throw it at someone. That might be more of a Crocker thing though.
The rule book could maybe be like a smash attack or some shit.
Costumes though too. When he becomes really cool.
Or when he becomes the girl Timmy.
Yeah. Or when he becomes the old man and goes to jail. There's the one movie where they have like the kiss powers. All right. Well, they have the Boichin Wonder as well. I'm sure he has a couple moves. Maybe he's not in because it was actually hard to think of movesets. But he's too iconic. It's one of those things where Pac-Man is not obvious, but he's necessary, you know?
Mm-hmm. I think I'm going to do Squidward. The people want it. It could be weird to not have Squidward.
Well, you're
but I guess
it on SpongeBob.
I know. That's the thing. Bro. It's like, is it oversaturation? Would they put Plankton in? Like, I don't know.
What's going on here?
Do you remember that Smash Gamba we did?
Yeah, where you were guessing who's going to be in the game?
Yeah, would you see there's a new Nickelodeon Smash clone announced?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Jimmy Neutron, calling it. Or it's either him or SpongeBob or...
Well, we already know about SpongeBob. There's a couple characters we know are in the game already.
Wait, they're adding SpongeBob characters to fucking Smash?
No. Nickelodeon is copying Smash and making their own fighting game.
Oh, okay, yeah. Jimmy Neutron's SpongeBob are definitely in.
Okay, do you want me to tell you who's already in?
Yeah.
Okay, so SpongeBob, Patrick, and Sandy are in for SpongeBob. Reptar is in for Rugrat. Helga is in for Hey Arnold. Michelangelo and Leonardo from Turtles. Zim, Danny Phantom, Nigel Thornberry, Lincoln and Lucy Loud from the Loud House, which is a new thing. Ren and Stimpy are like kind of lead. Tyler Toastman from Ren and Stimpy, Okalina from Avril Monsters, Catdog, Korra, and probably Aang. So we don't know about Timmy or Jimmy yet.
Dude, Jimmy definitely. If you're a 3D model of Jimmy and make it look good, then it is fucking...
True. So, Liam, you just picked Squidward. He's definitely in my top 3 want. I don't know if he really has a shot now that they've already locked in Sandy as number 3. I think he would be very fun because he'd be a more like lanky traditional character. He might
could use a clarinet.
Yeah. He might be able to use some sort of disjoints with his clarinet. Maybe he'll get some sort of stat advantage from playing it. Maybe, you know how Skullgirls has a character with a saxophone, and you could actually play it using inputs, and people have like break people's guard and then play little songs. It'd be cool if they implemented that in this. If they did Echo Fighters, we could get Squilliam, or maybe as a costume.
I want to see the meme become real.
You want his F-tilt to be the
little kick, yeah.
His up B could be the leaf blower.
What about the magic conch? You think the magic conch will come out?
See, I was thinking about that, but I'm not really sure how they would implement that. Maybe it's a taunt. Because the conch doesn't really have combat abilities, unless they use it as like a counter. Like you could see what they were doing beforehand.
I don't like the Monado.
Maybe he'll have like a handsome alternate costume. Or maybe if you hit him to like a really high %, his face just becomes handsome. Oh, he could have that one dance where he jiggles his arms as a taunt. If this game even has taunts, I don't know. He is a conductor that one time. That would be a cool outfit. And the artist outfit.
That's the outfit.
He has
That's
a lot of good outfits. He has the... Remember when he was the volcano superhero?
Yeah, Krakatoa.
It could be his up smash or something. Maybe he throws the Krusty Krab pizza at you. Of course I'll pick Jimmy. He's the 4th member.
Okay, good.
The Nicktoons Unite gang. You ever play that old Nicktoons Unite game? That was the original Avengers. You had Timmy Turner, Jimmy Neutron, Danny Phantom, and Spongebob. And they're all teaming up to save each other's universe.
Oh shit, is Danny Phantom confirmed in this?
Yeah. We've seen him, and we saw the ghost as a stage. But I feel like both Jimmy and Timmy should be in this game. They've crossed over before, and Jimmy has so much of a moveset. His up B, the rocket. He was a superhero in one episode. Goddard for sure. That could be his recovery too. Is some sort of like rush-like spring Goddard.
He could shrink people.
He could shrink people. Probably not.
I bet Carl Weezer's in the game.
Headbutt people. That seems like a unlikely scenario. Considering
what about Bolby?
Bolby seems far down the list.
It's so funny. I love Bolby.
So yeah, Jimmy would be. He's also an icon. He is like the probably the most iconic 3D show character still to this day. I can't really think of a whole lot of other. I guess there's Ruby and then Guilty Gear as a 3D anime. But yeah, doesn't he have a jetpack too? He has a lot of movement.
He has a lot of things.
Nicktoons Unite, he has some sort of fan gun thing.
Jimmy's lab will be a stage.
Think so? That's pretty indoorsy. You could fight on top of the candy bar.
Is George Lopez on this list?
He's part of the Nick at Night category.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Otis from the Barnyard.
So Otis has a precedent for being a Nickelodeon official.
Oh my god, the fucking cow?
Yeah.
Yes.
He starred in his own movie, which is a big deal, and he had his own show, which was fairly successful, and was already 3D. He was featured in Attack of the Toybots as a collectible trophy, and he was in the browser-based Street Fighter Nickelodeon fighting game thing. So not a bad pick. He would have a pretty unique moveset. In the fighting game, he could basically shoot Hadoukens out of his udder for some reason, in addition to having a weird build that would differentiate him from the cast. Do you have any particular ideas for moves he would do?
Would probably do the cannonball or whatever, because like, isn't that one of his things? He goes like cowabunga. It'd be funny if they did. He just goes on all fours and he tips over.
Yeah,
That's like
a taunt or a down smash or something.
Or even like a falcon punch type of deal. He just starts tipping and he really damages you. Did you know that cows kill more people a year than sharks?
There is a joke when the humans look back at Otis and he is standing there. That would be a good taunt where he in one frame goes into all fours and he just looks like a cow.
He's a wide age pool too. I remember watching the movie as a kid, and then I know the show probably ran for a while.
I think it ran for a while. Probably should have done your research. That was like the original party animals. Is Ben his father? Doesn't the movie end with him having a child?
I'm not caught up on the lore.
He has a wife, Daisy. So she could be like an Echo Fighter of Otis.
She's the She's like the brown cow, I think, right? She's got like yellow hair on top of her.
No, she just has a bow. Oh no, that's Abby is the blonde one. Daisy is a different character from Abby. I don't know who he's fucking. Oh, and then there's Betsy, who's more sassy. Oh, the pig?
Yeah.
They have a good cast. Barnyard should have gotten the fighting game itself. I'll go with XJ9 from My Life as a Teenage Robot.
She's hot.
She's a teenage robot, sir.
Yeah.
Can you take a seat?
Yeah.
I think she would have a diverse moveset. She could literally be anything. She could be Rushdown Zoner because she's a robot and she has a trillion abilities. She could turn into a drill. She could fly up and down. She could probably shoot lasers and missiles and stuff. She would have a good moveset. She'd be another female character, which they really want to push. She would represent an entirely new franchise, which is also good. The show itself was pretty good. It had a very unique art style and pace. So she would be very good. The only issue, I think, is that I don't think she was in the Mario Kart clone.
I think I'm gonna go with the Crimson Chin. He is an iconic Fairly Odd Parents character. It's big. The most dangerous thing about picking him is I don't see them picking him over Timmy.
What about Jorgen von Strangle?
Yeah, that'd be cool too.
He's in a lot of episodes.
Yeah, he's probably in more episodes than the Chin. Weasel Duke is debunking you, Liam.
I'm sorry, it's what I thought about.
Yeah, well, I immediately thought, well, they already have Powdered Toast Man as a sort of superhero cartoon Nick parody character that could fill the Captain Falcon archetype. But Crimson Chin is definitely popular. You could have a Nega Chin variant of him, like a costume or whatever, like Blood Falcon. I don't know if he particularly has any moves that he has used, but I don't remember outside of punching.
The chin uppercut? The mega chin uppercut?
Does he actually uppercut people with the chin?
Anything he does with the chin will be hilarious.
Alright, so that would make him interesting then. Yeah, maybe not this one. Maybe in Nick 2 we'll get Crimson Chin. But not a bad pick, Liam. Alright, I'm gonna go with Norbert and or Daggett. Now, I didn't really watch much Angry Beavers, but in my head, it's always been sort of in the same level as Ren and Stimpy in terms of age and popularity-ish. Ren and Stimpy is probably more popular, but it would be a good idea to cross over those IP, because I don't think they have. I don't know how they're thinking of doing this, how much Disney has their hands in. Obviously, they wanted Patrick in for the Patrick show, and Cora in because it's newer, and the Loud House characters. So I don't know how obscure they're allowed to get, because if I was making a Nick game, I would make sure to include as many worlds as possible. That's a completely blind pick. I don't know what they do. I've only seen the episode where they're walking on a staircase that's like an illusion staircase, where it's always descending at every point in the staircase in a circle, like one of those illusion images. And I remember being fascinated by that staircase in Angry Beavers. So I would like that to be a stage.
Dudley Puppy. Tough Puppy. So it's another Butch Hardman show, if I recall. I think it started just around the point where I kind of stopped watching Nick. Knew he was on
definitely later
a little bit before,
than,
but
like Jimmy Timmy stuff.
I think it was out before Planet Sheen. If I
that
could
is the
place
big
it.
divider of the Nick eras.
It depends on, like, do they want to go with unique movesets or do they not really care? Like,
I mean, they grabbed Powdered Toast Man, so it's like they're gonna go with unique stuff. I don't know what Dudley does because I haven't watched a whole lot of Dudley Puppy.
He's just kind of a secret agent dog. So you could have some gadgets, probably a grappling hook.
He'd probably be a little bit slower, more like Banjo-y.
I think he represents a certain era of Nick.
The Tuff era. I'm just gonna hijack this. I'm gonna say they'll skip Dudley and go straight to Kitty.
I was thinking that too.
So I'm pretty sure Kitty Katswell is in the fighting game. She's gotta be more popular even though she's not the main character, especially on the internet. And she's part of the female team. So, but I think that would be a good choice because they would essentially have the same tool set in terms of like electronics and spyware.
She'd be a lot faster.
But she would be faster and have like a more distinct moveset from the rest of the cast. Something more like Min or Sheik like, where she can kick a lot and move around and combo. I'm just going based off of her character design. She might actually be very slow in her show, but I prefer her to Dudley. Just Googled Kitty Katswell, it's a fucking mess.
this might end up becoming a little bit of a Fire Emblem situation, maybe with people.
Another SpongeBob?
Yeah. Oh no,
another turtle.
I was gonna say another turtle, and if I had to pick one, personally, I would do Raphael, because I feel like he's everyone when they're young. They're like, he's the fucking cool one. He's the edgy. I always thought he was super cool as a kid.
Who's like? Is there a leader? Like a more?
Yeah, it's Leonardo. Leonardo's always the leader, and then Raphael's kind of like his what is the word?
Deputy.
No, not deputy.
Right-hand man.
But he's like the Vegeta, even though Raphael wasn't really a villain, but he has that same kind of like.
That's the thing I don't watch TMNT, so I personally would not get excited if another turtle joined. So if we got another TMNT character, I would prefer Splinter or Shredder, who appear to would have more unique movesets.
Yeah, no, I understand that. I was basically debating between they would do a different turtle or if they would do a different TMT.
Yeah, because that is a tough situation, because you're going with a show that has like 4 equal main characters practically. But then if you're going 25 on the protagonist, eventually the antagonist becomes more important than those individuals, you know. But
yeah,
people will want their favorite turtle, so if they add another one that isn't a turtle, it'll look very strange. It'll be like, I don't know what to compare it to, but it would be strange. But the turtles do have 3 stages, which is the same as SpongeBob, but they only have 2 characters so far. So if there were to be a single villainous character, I guess you didn't. We'll get to that later if somebody chooses Shredder, I guess. But Rocko is another.
Is Nacho Libre on the list?
No, that started as Cartoon Network and then moved to Disney, I believe. So it was never.
Oh, I thought it was a Nick thing the whole time. My bad.
Or wait. I'm thinking of Mucha Lucha.
Nacho Libre was definitely a Nick thing.
Yeah, I guess I just combined it with
Paramount, and Paramount owns Nick, I believe.
Yes.
Has Paramount always owned Nick? There is a character on here I read a lot about for some reason, where there was Paramount owned the character, but they wanted to use him in the show and couldn't until something happened, which they implied I knew. So I never found out.
I can confirm the production company was Nickelodeon Movies for Nacho Libre.
So there's no Nacho Libre, but that would go under other. There is School of Rock, though. The real-life non-cartoon characters are very
unlikely.
They seem like...
I mean, you can do Nacho Libre as a cartoon.
Yeah, you can, but would they? Because you could also do True Jackson as a cartoon. All right. I picked Rocko. Rocko, to me, again, the same sort of era where old people talk about the best cartoons and they'll say Ren and Stimpy and Rocko. But Rocko has a lot of episodes and a lot to pull from, probably. He's an iconic character design.
You don't think he's too raunchy?
Is Rocko raunchy? I have no idea.
Yeah, he works for a sex hotline.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, if it got on Nick in the first place, then it can get into Nick the fighting game. What moves can Rocko do, Liam?
I can't think of anything. I just know that he works for a sex hotline.
He has a tail, right?
I don't remember.
He's Australian?
Honestly, he seems kind of like a boring character, but I haven't really watched the show.
He has a tail, so he could down tilt with it.
I think his character is supposed to be kind of like the eyes that you look through the rest of this weird world.
I've only seen one Rocko episode, but it was entirely about the bean guy, and he had a magic 8-ball, and he became he went to space, he made so much money. I enjoyed that episode, but Rocko was not featured in it at all. I think Rocko will have a down tilt where he swings his tail, and then he'll have a forward air that's multi-hit, and then he'll be able to cancel it automatically by hitting the ground, and then he'll be dragged down, into which he can do another down tilt.
I'm gonna go with Po. Kung Fu Panda.
Oh my god, yes.
An iconic Nick IP.
Is it really
I cannot believe that wasn't
Nick, though? Isn't
I
it
thought
DreamWorks?
He has had so many Nick shows.
And he had 3 movies.
He did, but they were made by DreamWorks, weren't they?
I mean, he's on the Nickelodeon website, and
yeah, I know he has a show right now. It's not a bad pick. He is iconic.
I feel like he could be an interesting kung fu character. He'd be a heavy, but he'd have some interesting.
What about Tigress? Is Tigress
interesting stuff? No, because
I thought Po was
Frank
too
did not
unlikely.
Didn't
I
put
thought
too
that
much
was a
stock into them.
silly side. It is a DreamWorks property. Is DreamWorks owned by Paramount? I guess they're like sister companies in that way, Disney and DreamWorks. That would be a cool trailer if they're not gonna do cinematic trailers for this game. But if they did, it would be epic. In fact, don't they say epic in those movies?
Probably. Like, I understand this might give you an idea of who I want to pick, but I kind of don't care. The Avatar characters are all so interesting.
Yeah, no, I was looking at Zuko. I'm kind of torn between him and someone else, but the problem is, just based on what we've seen, is there's one Avatar stage for both Aang and Korra. And based on it, it seems like everything's been 1-to-1 so far, with the exception of Turtles, assuming they don't get another one. But I would be very surprised if we got 3 characters and only 1 stage distributed. Obviously, we haven't seen everything, but I don't think they're holding back so much. But I do think if there was DLC, they would definitely
Dip into Avatar.
They would probably do Zuko. I mean, Zuko might be the most popular Avatar character in terms of people liking him, because Aang is kind of lame a little bit. Just a little bit, character design and personality wise. He's cool at the end of the show, kind of.
I don't. Okay, so I haven't seen all of Avatar. I probably will have to watch it all.
Okay.
So,
Well, it's not really a spoiler, but Zuko has a very organic, redemptive arc that's
I knew about that.
well written, especially for a Nick show. Like, I'm sure it was a lot of people's first experience with a character being bad and then learning to become good and having complex societal and friendship things. Plus, he's got a very cool character design towards the end of the show. Like, he's very nice looking at the end of the show. And he was in the Smite game, and he would have a cool moveset. He would just have a lot of cool karate, and then fire that would come out of his karate. Kind of a spoiler, but there's like lightning bending towards the end of the show. I'm just saying, because if he's in the game, he would probably use that anyways. But he would probably be able to use, like, probably not exactly how Pikachu uses it, but maybe something more like a Hero's side B, where he kind of shoots it forward and can, like, stun people maybe. And they could give him a Hadouken.
I think I'm also going to go in Avatar. I think I'm going to do Toph. A lot of people would want her.
Good
I mean, she's an
commentary,
earthbender.
What about that Katara girl? Is she?
So we had a discussion about this earlier. So
She
I
doesn't
think
fight very much.
Maybe her.
She has been there since the beginning, but she's like usually like a healer character, and she's not as popular, I feel like, as Toph and Zuko, especially in a fighting sense. Because Zuko and Toph can do some crazy fights.
And since Korra is in it, Korra kind of is in that waterbender niche, so we're kind of like, we don't want an oversaturation of
It would be
waterbending.
very saturated. Yeah. Toph would be a great choice. She's a great character. I know she is in Korra in some capacity, so she could represent both shows. Earthbending's cool. I know she learns to metal bend later, but fundamentally in a fighting game setting, it wouldn't really make a difference. Unless, like, her fully charged, although it would make sense to fully charge an attack and for rocks to turn into metal, but she would be very cool. She would hit really hard, but would probably be pretty slow.
She's blind.
She is blind. I don't know how you would incorporate that, though. That's kind of what I'm thinking about. Although her senses are very high in the show.
She's also the most popular female character in Avatar.
Maybe. Azula's pretty popular, but I feel like they'd go with Toph over Azula, because she's like the most popular earthbender by far. I'll go with Vlad Plasmius. He's sort of... Have you watched Danny Phantom, Liam?
Yeah, he's like the vampire ghost.
Yeah, well, he's probably the most developed villain on the show, because he has a backstory with Danny's family, and I don't know if they always know each other's secret identities, but they've had like father-son sort of moments, even though he's the villain, and they've taught each other certain powers. Design-wise, he's cool. His power set's a little bit similar to Danny's, but they can vary it up. I mean, they made Mario and Luigi separate in Smash. With like a Danny Phantom character, there's so much to work with. Plus, he has the barriers. So he would be very, very cool. I would like him a lot. In terms of villains, I think he would be the best choice out of this whole list, in my opinion, because he has a versatile moveset, and Danny Phantom doesn't have a whole lot of other iconic characters with a lot of moves that are part of like the good guy cast. By the way, you may have been wondering where the Flying Dutchman and King Jellyfish are. They are already on the stage, so I'm not including characters that are already on the stage. That doesn't necessarily deconfirm them, but I figured we might as well be a little bit more concise. I wouldn't want to put characters on that have no shot, you know what I mean?
Uh-huh.
But we haven't seen any characters in the background of the Ghost Zone yet, so Vlad's still Tito has a shot.
I'm gonna go with Auto Rocket. I know Rocket Power was a very popular early 2000s Nick show. I really didn't
one's
watch
Otto?
him. He's the main character.
He's a dude with a helmet, right?
Yeah.
I couldn't describe him to you. I only played the Rocket Power game.
I had a squid helmet my entire childhood.
Or no, he has a helmet, but he has like the red hair with the
He'd be cool. He has a skateboard. You'd definitely be zooming around with that. Personally, I think it'd be if they want to go with another older rep. I think that
Do you think they'd go with Otto over Regina?
I have to look at Regina's.
Dude,
Because Regina is a female.
Squid was iconic, dude.
Who's Squid?
Squid's the kid with the shark helmet. The kid who
Oh.
doesn't know how to skate.
Yeah, I didn't watch this show. Would Regina and Otto not have the exact same moveset? They could probably Bowser Jr. them and make them all costumes of each other.
She rollerblades, so
Oh. Well, that might be more interesting than a skateboarder, maybe. Well, she rides a scooter in some of these images. And they surf. They do a lot of stuff on this show. No, I'd like a Rocket Power character. They have to be like Rushdowny, right? It's all about speed on this show. But yeah. Tito. Does Tito have a shot?
Tito would be cool.
Woogity 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 woogity.